Good evening, everyone. Peter was excited, perhaps beyond any excitement he had experienced before. In fact, to say he was excited is most certainly an understatement. It may be more appropriate to say that he was overwhelmed. Why was this the case? Because he had just been given a very small glimpse of the glory and splendor of God. This is the Transfiguration. Jesus took Peter, James, and John, and they went up a high mountain together. These three apostles had no idea what was coming. Most likely, while on the way up, they were complaining interiorly, wondering why they had to go up the mountain. But the mountain is a symbol of our upward journey to heaven. It takes focus and drive, a place away from the ordinary occurrences of life. So they were on this difficult climb up the mountain, and suddenly they stopped in shock and awe. They saw before their eyes Jesus changed in a glorious way. His clothing being whiter than any white they had ever seen. And Moses and Elijah, the great lawgiver and the great prophet, were there before them conversing with Jesus. And what was going on in Peter's head? What was he experiencing? He was experiencing a small glimpse of the glory and splendor of God. Jesus, who up until this moment had kept his divinity veiled, lifted the veil ever so slightly. And with the lifting of that veil, his divinity shone through brighter than anything this world could ever contain. And Peter, James, and John did not know what to think. But Peter cried out that he wanted to build 3 tents, one for Jesus, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. For within that momentary experience, he experienced the desire to remain there forever. So why did Jesus give these apostles this very brief experience of his glory? Because they would need that taste of his goodness for the road ahead. They would need to forever remember that their final destiny was. They would need to hold this experience close as they endured the many crosses and sufferings ahead. And they would use this experience to remind themselves that whatever they had to endure on the journey up the mountain of life is worth it. Because on the summit is a glory so great that no hardship they would have to endure would ever prove to be too big. God wants to give that message to us through them. He wants us to ponder this experience they had, and He wants us to try to enter into it so that we too can willingly press on during the journey. Reflect today at the beginning of Lent on the glory of God that makes the crosses we endure all worth it. Take advantage of this experience of Peter, James, and John, and try to make their experience your own. Be consoled by God's glory and never forget that this is the ultimate promise He gives to all who press on. And God bless you.
Mga kapatid sa pananampalataya, nandito po tayo ngayon sa pangalawang linggo ng Kwaresma. Sa linggong ito, pinagninilayan po natin ang pagbabagong anyo ng ating Panginoon o transfigurasyon. Siguro magtataka po tayo. Umiiba po ang tono sa pangalawinggo pa lamang ng Kwaresma. Ang tono na kung saan patungkol sa tukso sa unang linggo, kanyang mga pasakit, kanyang mga hirap sa mga susunod na linggo. Subalit sa pangalawang linggo po, patungkol sa kanyang kaluwalhatian, pagbabagong anyo. Bakit kaya po naipasok ang Ebanghelyo, ang kwento sa transfigurasyon ng ating Panginoong Hesus? Kung titignan po natin, mga kapatid, ang transfiguration na kasaysayan ay nangyayari sa umpisa lamang sa karanasan ng ating Panginoon sa Jerusalem, sa kanyang mga pasakit, sa mga bagay na idadaanan niya sa krus. Doon makita natin kung paano po ang istorya sa transfigurasyon ang siyang nagbibigay ng iba yung sigla, iba yung tutok, iba yung halaga. Na kahit papan sa umpisa pa ating paghihirap, mararanasan na po natin ang kaluwalhatian, ang kaharian, ang paghari ng Diyos sa bawat isa sa atin. At kapuna-puna po, tatlong mga minamahal niya alagad. Si Pedro, si Santiago, at si Juan. Sila bagay nagsisimbolo sa bawat isa sa atin. Piling-pilinan sila, subalit sila din ay napakarupok. Maraming pagkakamali, maraming kahinaan. Subalit nung makita ni Pedro si Jesus sa gitna ni Moises na nagsisimbolo ng batas, at si Elijah nagsisimbolo ng mga propeta sa lumang tipan, siya po, si Pedro po, ay nagkagalak. Kaya nga po sinabi ni Pedro, Panginoon, dumito na lang muna tayo sa bundok. Gagawa tatlong kubol. Isa po sa inyo, isa po kay Moises, at isa po kay Elijah. Nagsasalita pa si Simon Pedro, nangliliman sila ng ulap at kakarinig sila ng tinig mula sa itaas. Ito ang kinalulugdan kong anak. Pakinggan ninyo siya. Takot na takot ang mga alagad at sila'y napasusubasog. Subalit sinabihan siya ng Panginoon, tumindig kayo, huwag kayong matakot. Ito po ang paalaala ng ating Panginoon sa bawat isa sa atin bilang mananampalataya. Una po, si Jesus ang siyang pumipili sa bawat isa sa atin. Hindi dahil tayo hamak na paborito lamang, pero kahit paman sa ating makahinaan, sa ating makasalanan, sa ating mga karupukan, handa pa rin igawan ang pagmamahal, pagpapatawad ng ating Panginoon. At ika nga, sa panahon na hindi natin naintindihan ang napakaraming bagay sa ating buhay nangyayari, tayo natatakot, tayo nawala ng pag-asa, parang hindi natin maibigkas, maisabi ang mga bagay-bagay. Subalit, sinasabi ng Panginoon, tumindig ka at huwag kang matakot. At ganun pa man, inaanyayahan nating Panginoon na bumaba sila sa patag. Alala mo bagay, ang karanasan ng pagbabagong anyo ay isang bagong hudyat, bagong simula, na kung saan nakakahugot sila, nakakahugot tayo ng lakas. At ang harapin natin ang iba't ibang hamon sa buhay, tayo po ay mas lalong matibay. Tayo po ay mas lalong hindi natatakot. Tayo po ay mas lalong matapang at hanggang magbuwis sa ating sarili alang-alang sa ating Panginoong Diyos. Isang tibling po sa kanilang lahat.